So, we made it back. Like I mentioned, we did not come out unscathed. She's up on jack stands. She's hurt pretty bad, but not detrimental. It wasn't much, but the one thing that broke means I couldn't drive it. So, got her on jack stands. As you can kind of see in the corner, we got Dad's Jeep red on under the surgical knife. There's more to do to that one, so we're gonna get to that here in a bit. I got everything I needed. I got the track bar. It's still up in bubble wrap because obviously don't want it scratched. Got a baby these days. So we got that. But before we get going, I got to beat the allegations here a little bit. There's a rumor that I was stuck when we were off-roading. Dad mentioned last week that might have come to pass there a little bit. Unfortunately, it's true. We did get stuck. And even better, it's because I was doing something stupid. So, to make a long story short, we went the whole day without getting stuck. This thing didn't even slow down. And I just kind of wanted to get stuck and play in the mud. It's been raining for like 2 months here in Alberta. It's just on and off, crazy. It hasn't been summer. So I was like, great. There's going to be tons of mud, tons of chances to get stuck, and tons of chances to just have fun. So we go all the way in, and we come 90% of the way out, and we come up to a mud pit. And I was so excited, because I was like, let's play in the mud pit. So we get playing, and I go to leave, and there's pretty much a ring of just steep mud around this mud pit, and I can't get out. So we get going, and I can't get out. Basically, we get stuck. We get pretty stuck. We're pretty dug deep. We're probably about halfway tired in mud, and like a foot wall that we can't get over. So thankfully, a dude in a truck was passing by. It was like 9:30 at night. The odds of that happening were so low. But a dude in a truck was passing by, and he's like, "You guys stuck?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you guys need a pull?" And I was like, "That would be great." So he gets set up, pulls us out. It wasn't much of a story. The reason I didn't include any of that footage is because I only had 2 GoPros on at the time. The one that was facing the tire and the one that was facing us. And my good friend Jason was directing me out, so he was standing up and his butt was kind of just in the camera the whole time. So that's kind of why I didn't include any of the footage, but just for that, I'll put the footage in here. I'm digging myself the hole so I can't go sideways. This might be my... Okay. So now that I beat the allegations, I mean, I didn't beat them, I got stuck. It was true. I'm going back. So a couple friends of mine saw the photos and was like, we gotta go. So we're planning a whole camping trip, the whole weekend, the whole thing. That's why I'm getting both Jeeps going. So now we're on a time crunch because I've got about 3 weeks to get these Jeeps in 100% order, or at least 90. And most of that time is going to be spent at work or camping with other friends that I've got going on. So that's enough talking. Let's get building. We got stuff to do. Okay, so back under the Jeep. Well, I guess we're just under the Jeep. No, we're back under. I get under here a lot. So we're just lounging. The great thing about having a really high Jeep, plus it being on jack stands, is I got all the space to sit, move, think. These are things you don't get with a car. It's great. Beside the point. So before we get installing, I feel like I should kind of explain what a track bar is, what it does, why you need it, why is it cool. First of all, it's not that cool, but why you need it and what it does. So in any car, you got to keep the rear end kind of stable, going left to right. In front wheel drive cars, it's super easy because it's not a solid axle. They're just independent on both sides. They don't move left to right because they can't. In trucks where they have a rear axle, the leaf springs is they have many ways, but leaf springs is the one big way why they don't move left to right. And the Jeeps used to have leaf springs, but now that they have springs as their mode of suspension, you gotta keep it from going left to right. So the way they do that is the track bar. So they take the track bar and they bolt it right in, right above the axle, and it goes across into the frame. And basically, it's just a solid bar that just keeps it locked onto the frame. And that's about it. It's 2 bolts, both cinched in at about, I think, here's the thing. They're both cinched in at about 80 pounds is the torque spec. But if you read on the whole Google and the forums, people will talk about how on these aftermarket ones, if you cinch them up to 80 pounds, you're gonna get squished bushings. So people on the forums recommend 60 pounds. You do whatever you want. I'm gonna cinch them down to 60 pounds and then just check them often. So the last thing I want, last thing I want is squish bushings. So I'm just gonna go down to 60 pounds. I'm gonna check them every so often. I'm probably only got about a month or 2 left before I park this Jeep for the winter, because the winters in Canada are pretty bitter. So that's my game plan. So let's enough talking. There's too much been talking so far. So let's get going. Because this cannot be it. Well, see, now I got a great sitting spot, but I don't have arms. Something in my eyeball. Okay, how do you bolt? It's bolt time. Oh, this is too big. Okay, so it's dark, but it's been a long day. Notice I didn't have half the bolts I needed. So the last little bit's been trying to get bolts, but now I'm back. I'm good. Trying to get back into some sort of position. And we're gonna bolt everything back up. I hope. That's the plan, at least. Oh yeah, this is all cocked sideways. Holy. I'll be lucky if this control arm even goes in. When I lifted up the Jeep and put it back down on jack stands, the axle kind of kicked out to the passenger side. So when I was trying to put the track bar in, it obviously wouldn't fit because it was way too short. So I got it jacked up in a safe manner. And I took all the load out of the track bar and then got it all squished in. So now I gotta try and use the screw to push the axle back to the driver's side. Is the idea. Is something magnetic over here? Well, that's not really. Nice. The control arm that's not attached. Okay, so now I'm just using the track bar to push the axle back out. I think it's 38.5 inches from center to center. Ow! Scraping knuckles. That hurt. Got my trusty measuring tape because I don't know where my actual one is. And I'm just gonna push it out, measure, and then just keep doing that until I get 38.5 inches. Where am I? Okay, so I just double checked. The stock length of these track bars are 33.5. So that's what it recommends putting this to. So good news is I'm already there. I was putting the shoulders into it, thinking it was 38.5. Got up to get vice grips so that I could turn this thing. And I was like, you know what, I'll double check. Double checked, it was 33.5. So we actually got to take an inch off. Oh, well, geez, now it's like way stuck on there. Okay. All right, how do I take it out? I think it's this way. Middle, middle is 33.5. Okay, nice. She is set length. Let's go. So now we take these little fasteners and we will clamp. What size are these? These look like big boys. 18s. Oh, I grabbed 19s. Oh no. Please be 19s, that'd be cool. No, it is definitely 18. Oh, I don't want to get back out. Oh man. On the back. 55 foot-pounds. So we'll take a handy-dandy torque wrench and the wrench out of my butt, and we'll set it to Newton meters, inch pounds, foot pounds. So we'll go, nope, in foot pounds, 55. 55, okay. Okay, 55 foot-pounds. Oh, now the wrench is stuck. So, leading up to a couple days before Ruby Falls, I drove this Jeep a couple times because it was rainy and this one has the top on, and I can't put the top on mine by myself. So I drove it and I got to the gym in the morning and it puked coolant everywhere, and I didn't know where from. I tried looking and it was just everything. It didn't look like it came from anywhere, but on the ground there was green and it was smoking a little bit. So I got it towed home and I looked, everything was dry. The lower rad hose was dry, the upper was dry, around the water pump was dry. Like it literally looked like it came out of nowhere. I still don't know where. So today's gonna be a disassembly, fix the power steering, get that pump done. And while everything's out, we'll see if we can get it together. So I don't know where to start, but I'm gonna guess I want access to the front of the engine. So the rad fan's gotta come out, release the shroud, which means the radiator's gotta come out. Huh? Does it? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So that's enough of my rambling. Let's get cracking. I really don't know where to start. Let's call Dad, see what he would do.
The fan literally has 4 bolts holding it on.
They look like those little 10s, hey? Okay, that's not.
Yeah, the 10mm nuts. And make sure that's what I screwed up. I didn't tighten those up last time, and that's how I punctured the radiator and did a bunch of stuff. So when you take that fan off, make sure you do not drop it, because if it falls and tips into the radiator, it will puncture the radiator. And I'm telling you that because I did it.
Fair enough. Okay.
That's another brand new radiator because I punctured the other brand new radiator that I bought. Okay. All right, just don't break my Jeep, please.
I won't promise anything.
All right.
Okay, love you.
Through like the Gimpy line.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason. I think we would have missed our flight if we had to stand in normal security. But yeah, so I think because we were showing up late, they just tagged our stroller and car seats to be checked at the gate.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I can.
No, it's not the pump. Oh, it's coming out of the weep hole.
No, Dad, that's not good news.
Let me look again. Put it back down there. It looks like it's coming out of the weep hole.
Yeah, that was the car. Right.
Yeah, it's coming out of the weep hole.
Shoot.
So it's sheared off.
All right, well, you need new.
Water pump.
Yep. So I feel like this is quite common knowledge, but when it comes to water pumps, there's a little hole that gets put into the water pump, and basically it's just a little bypass that when the water pump starts going bad, it'll start to leak out that hole. So it's called the little weep hole, and you can tell with this one that it's quite dirty right under it. So it's been leaking for a minute. Water pumps. Does that mean there's more than one in here?
Is it a hold on or just a push on?
Hold on. Holy, I think these boxes are so hard to get in.
Get the battery. I think the battery.
Oh, there's fresh batteries in that one. Wow. All right, well. 4 bolts, the water pump comes out. That's actually super easy.
Yeah.
My one on the Liberty had like, I don't know, 18. Gives you a fresh new gasket. That's cool. We're gonna put that right there. All right, well, it's another day, and another day we were back working on the Jeep. So, where we left off, I put the water pump in. That's about it. So, lots still to get done. Where is it pissing coolant from? Right up the back of the gasket. There's so much coolant everywhere. I guess it's freaking arts and crafts day over at the Rice House. Alright, well, I'll be back in an hour to tighten that down to spec, I guess. Okay, so it's been an hour for the silicone to set and the everything to dry up a little bit. I gotta wait. So I tightened it down to torque now, so it should be all done. I just gotta wait 24 hours for it to set, and then we should be fine. So I think that's gonna be it for now. That's gonna be it for this video. Golden, thanks for sticking around.